Welcome to Operations Research. Today we are diving into a fascinating concept called the dominance property. Imagine you are playing a strategic game or making a crucial business decision and you have dozens of options. What if you could mathematically prove that some of those options are completely useless no matter what your opponent does? That is exactly what this property allows us to do. Let us learn how to shrink complex problems into simple solvable puzzles. Now that we understand the goal, let us look at how it works in everyday life. Imagine choosing a route to work. Route A takes 20 to 40 minutes depending on traffic. Route B takes 30 to 50 minutes. No matter what the traffic does, Route A is always faster. You would completely forget about Route B. In game theory, we use a payoff matrix to show rewards for each choice. If one strategy always gives a better or equal outcome compared to another, the inferior one is called a dominated strategy. A rational player will never pick a loser choice, so we can safely erase it from the game board. Building on that intuition, let us examine the game from the perspective of the row player, typically called player A. In standard game theory, player A is the maximizer. Their primary goal is to maximize their profits or points. When player A looks at their available strategies, represented by the rows in the matrix, they are searching for dominance. If every single number in one row is bigger than or equal to the matching numbers in another row, the row with the smaller numbers is useless. Player A will never choose it, so we can cross it out entirely. This logical choice we just discussed can be written mathematically. The formula states that row I dominates row K if Aij is greater than or equal to Akj for all possible columns J. Let us break down where this comes from. The variable Aij represents the payoff for player A choosing row I while the opponent chooses column J. The variable akj is the payoff if player A had chosen row K instead. If this greater than or equal to condition holds true for every single move the opponent can make, represented by the index J, then row I is universally better. If the values in row I increase, the dominance becomes even stronger. Having seen how player A maximizes, we must now flip our perspective to the column player, usually called player B. In a standard zero-sum game, the numbers in the matrix represent player A's winnings, which means they simultaneously represent player B's losses. Because player B wants to lose as little as possible, their goal is the exact opposite of player A. Player B wants to minimize the numbers. Therefore, when player B compares two columns, they are looking for the column that forces them to lose more. The column with the larger numbers is the dominated strategy for player B, and it gets eliminated. Just as we did for the row player, let us formalize the column player strategy mathematically. The formula states that column J dominates column K if Aij is less than or equal to Aik for all possible rows I. Conceptually, this means the losses in column J are always smaller. Here, Aij is the loss for player B when choosing column J, and Aik is the loss when choosing column K. The index I represents every possible row choice made by player A. If the values in column K increase, it becomes an even worse choice for player B, making it easier to eliminate. Remember, for columns, you want the smallest numbers. Now that we have the mathematical rules for both players, let us look at how they work together. The elimination procedure is a step-by-step process of applying these rules to shrink the game matrix. We do not just look once. We iteratively look for dominated rows and cross them out, and then look for dominated columns and cross them out. We keep switching back and forth. The beautiful part is that crossing out a column might suddenly make a row dominated that was not dominated before. We continue this cycle until no more dominated strategies can be found. Before we move on, let us see this with a concrete visual example. Look at the diagram on your screen. We have a 3 by 3 matrix. Notice the blue arrow pointing from row 1 to row 2, labeled dominates. If you compare the numbers, 4 is greater than 2, 2 is greater than 1, and 4 is greater than 3. Because player A wants to maximize their score, row 1 is clearly superior. Therefore, row 2 is completely crossed out with a thick red line. This visual crossing out is exactly what you should do on your own paper when solving these problems. Now that we have seen the visual, let us walk through a full mathematical example. We are given a game with a payoff matrix for player A, controlling the rows, and player B, controlling the columns. Row 1 has values 4, 2, and 4. Row 2 has values 2, 1, and 3. Row 3 has values 5, 3, and 6. We are asked to simplify this game using the dominance property. We will start by checking the rows to see if any row has numbers that are all smaller than another row. We must compare them step by step to ensure we do not make mistakes. Continuing with our matrix, let us compare row 1 and row 2 column by column. The first number in row 1 is 4, which is strictly greater than the first number in row 2, which is 2. Next, we examine the second column. The second number in row 1 is 2, which is clearly greater than the second number in row 2, which is only 1. Finally, we verify the third column. The third number in row 1 is 4, which is greater than the third number in row 2, which is 3. We have systematically proven that row 1 is consistently proving to be the superior choice. Since every single number in row 1 is greater than the corresponding number in row 2, we know row 1 completely dominates row 2. Player A is a rational decision maker and will never play a strategy that guarantees a worse outcome. Therefore, we eliminate row 2 entirely from our game board. The matrix is now successfully reduced to just row 1 and row 3, making it much simpler. But we are not done yet. We must now switch our perspective and look at the columns in our newly reduced smaller matrix. Now we look at the columns. The remaining rows are row 1 and row 3. So we only compare the numbers in these specific rows. Remember, player B wants to minimize their losses, so we must eliminate the column with the larger numbers. Let us compare column 1 and column 2. Looking at the top row, the value in column 1 is 4, which is significantly greater than the value in column 2, which is 2. Looking at the bottom row, the value in column 1 is 5, which is again greater than the value in column 2, which is 3. In every possible scenario, column 1 forces player B to lose more points than column 2. Therefore, column 1 is a terrible strategy for player B. Because player B hates large numbers, column 1 is dominated by column 2 and is permanently eliminated. We have successfully removed a useless row and a useless column, shrinking the game down to its core. This final reduced matrix represents the simplified game, proving how powerful this property is in filtering out bad choices. Let us look at a slightly more complex scenario where we must apply the elimination procedure carefully. Imagine a new matrix where row 1 has the values 1, 3, and 2. Row 2 has the values 4, 5, and 6. Row 3 has the values 3, 4, and 5. We want to find the optimal strategy by eliminating dominated strategies. We will scan the rows first to find a row that is completely beaten by another row. This requires us to compare pairs of rows systematically. Let us start by comparing row 2 and row 3. We begin by comparing the very first elements of both rows. The first element of row 2 is 4, which is larger than the first element of row 3, which is 3. Next, we move to the second column. The second element of row 2 is 5, which is larger than the second element of row 3, which is 4. Finally, we compare the third and final elements. The third element of row 2 is 6, which is larger than the third element of row 3, which is 5. We have now checked every single column for these two rows. Because every single number in row 2 is strictly greater than the corresponding number in row 3, row 2 completely dominates row 3. Player A, wanting the biggest numbers, will always prefer row 2 over row 3 in every situation. Therefore, row 3 is a dominated strategy and is permanently crossed out from the game. This leaves us with a much smaller matrix to analyze further. Physically, this means player A has completely discarded their third strategy, simplifying their decision-making process immensely. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us reinforce the most important ideas. The dominance property is a logical tool used to shrink game theory problems by removing inferior choices. Remember, for the row player, we cross out rows with smaller numbers because they want to maximize their score. For the column player, we cross out columns with larger numbers because they want to minimize their losses. By repeatedly crossing out these dominated strategies, we turn a massive, confusing game into a simple, solvable puzzle. You now have the tools to simplify any complex payoff matrix.